Okay, so today I'm going to show you guys how to make a cheap and easy chicken stew. So first thing we're going to do is dice an onion. Now we're going to peel and dice a, well, I would say 1 carrot, these are quite small, so I'm going to go with 2. Then in a nice deep pan, we're going to, a metal pan. You can do it in a pan with plastic handles, but you'll have to swap it into a casserole dish to put it in the oven. This has all metal handles, this is all just going to go in the oven. I'm just going to put that on a high heat, get some oil in. Once it's hot, we'll start frying it off. So once your oil's hot, it should be nice and runny. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that in the pan. We're going to get our chicken. We're going to just sprinkle a bit of salt over, not loads, just enough. I'm going to pop the chicken in there, and you should be able to hear, I don't know if you'll hear that on camera, just a gentle sizzle. Now I'm using thighs and drumsticks, but you could use whole legs, or the chicken leg quarters, or you can do this with beef or lamb, any braising cut. So we'll come back to this once it's golden. Hopefully you'll hear that better now. It's just frying off. I've not moved it at all, I'm just leaving it still so that it gets a nice bit of colour, and that'll build up a bit of flavour on there. Now you might notice some of these are going to colour up faster than others depending on where they are in the pan. So just give them a little shuffle about, still the same way down. And this will take a good 6 or 7 minutes to get a decent amount of colour on. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me over the pan. These are starting to colour up. I don't know how well you can see that, but I'm going to keep them going. They're really nice and darkly golden. That's starting to get there, but it's not quite, so it's a little bit longer. Okay, so my chicken's had that a little bit longer. It should be, yeah, just about there now. Really nice and golden. I'm just going to flip it over. That one's perfect. And go colour up the other side a little bit. Now the skin, you want to colour the skin side first, because then you'll render the fat out of that, and you'll get all that lovely flavour on it. Now, I'm going to throw in my onion and carrot. And you'll find if the pan will cool down a little bit. You're not going to get much colour on this other side. But you should just start to soften that veg up a bit. And while we're waiting on that, I can get started on cutting the potatoes. Well, I normally dice these fairly fine, you don't have to. Now, if you're not that confident with your knife skills, you can obviously cut it much bigger and it'll be absolutely fine, it won't matter at all. I just quite like them like this. So if you want to cut them bigger, better, you can just cut a small potato into 3 and half down the middle. Dice it like that, so they're a bit more. So they're more sort of that sort of size in your hand. We've got all this flavour on the bottom of the pan. You can see that golden there, that lovely colour. That's all flavour. So what you want to do is once your onions are soft, you're going a little bit translucent. See if I can get a good shot of that. I don't like the steam clouding it up too much. Is add some liquid while the pan's still absolutely red hot, because that'll boil up what's stuck on the bottom there, and that's all flavour you want to go into it. So I'm now just going to cover it in water. Add some mixed herbs. I'm using Italian seasonings, it's just what I've got, but mixed herbs are fine. About 2 teaspoons full. About 2 teaspoons full. I'm going to add 1 stock cube. I'm using Knorr, but you can use whatever, OXO or own brand, it doesn't matter too much. I like to add a little mustard. It doesn't actually make it hot or taste of mustard, it's just building up a base of flavour. So I'm going to add probably 1 good teaspoon. Now I'd normally add a good spoon of red currant jelly, a good dessert spoon, but I don't have any, and the shop didn't have any, so we're going without today. I'm going to leave this on full, and once it comes back to the boil, I'll show you what's next. Now, I don't know how well you can see this, but this is just starting to boil. You can see the steam coming off it. It's firming up slightly. So I'm going to put my potato in, just pile it in on top. I normally do 1 large potato or sort of 3 small ones per person. And then we're just going to let it heat up again, because adding that potato will have taken lots of the heat out, cooled it down. So once that is boiling, we'll pop it in the oven, let it braise away. So now this has come to a nice rolling boil. Just going to give it 1 last stir, just to make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom. Make sure it's covered with plenty of water. You can just give it a little top off if it needs it. But that, as I can see it now, is absolutely fine. The chicken's just covered, and there's plenty of liquid there to get everything cooked. So I'm going to pop the lid on, pop it in the oven on 160. And I'm not going to worry about it for an hour and a half. So it should now be tender, but it's always worth checking because it depends on your oven. So we're going to give it a bit of a stir just to make sure it's not sticking to the bottom and doesn't look like it is. Chicken feels nice and soft and tender. You don't really want it to be completely breaking apart, but it wouldn't matter if it was. You just take the bones out and serve it like that. So now I'm going to add some gravy granules. This is just to thicken it up, give it a bit more flavour again. So about 3 good spoons. I mean, it depends how thick you like it. If you're going to eat it from a bowl, you might only want to add 1 spoon. Eat it from a bowl with some bread. So I'm just going to stir that in, pop that in the oven just to make sure it's cooked out and thickened up to how I want it. And we'll come back to it in about 10 minutes. So while I'm waiting on that, I've got 150 grams of self-raising flour. I'm going to pop 75 grams of suet in. Could be veg suet or beef suet, doesn't really matter. And then we're going to add 200 ml of water and just mix it. The way I do it is a bit of a paste. It's not as firm. I quite like a light, fluffy dumpling. If you prefer them a little firmer, you can add more flour. It can be quite nice to add a bit of horseradish or some rosemary to it or some thyme, but I haven't got any, so I'm going to be sticking with plain. So it's been 10 minutes and it should now all be thickened up and ready for the dumplings. Now I'm going to turn the oven up so when the dumplings go in they cook through and get a nice golden top, about 200. And now when you put your dumplings in, as long as they go into the liquid, it doesn't really matter what size they are. If they're a bit bigger they might take a little longer to cook through, but you know, it should be absolutely fine. So I've just popped all those in unceremoniously and we'll bang them in the oven with the lid off. That bit's important, and we'll come back to it after about 15 minutes. So now if you look at that, they're lovely and golden on top. The liquid's just thickened up. If you give it a stir as well, it'll be a bit thicker when you mix it all in because of the starch from the potatoes. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, hit like and maybe get subscribed and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any future content.